And Emirates News' Nani Edwards joins us from Sydney. Nani, what's the current weather situation there?
Hi, Ramia. Yes, here in Sydney, it's certainly quite wet. It's not as bad as some of the areas of the state, but here in Sydney, we've seen almost 4 days of constant rain. The city's main water catchment area, the Warragamba Dam Reservoir, reached overflowing point on Friday and had to have its release gates open for the first time in 14 years. Just to put that in perspective, authorities are estimating that the overflow from that reservoir will be 1.5 times the volume of Sydney Harbour.
It really is unbelievable. So it's the southwestern areas of the state of New South Wales that are feeling it the hardest.
Yes, I mean, it's a large proportion of this very large continent that's affected in general. To think about it, it's the area the size of France that's affected here. But yes, in New South Wales alone, it's 70 to 75% of the state. And in the southern area, that is certainly the worst. The man who was killed trying to cross a river in his car, that was in the southern area. And as you mentioned, the Riverina district, that is possibly the worst. It's mainly an agricultural area, and it's also a catchment for Australia's largest river system, the Murray-Darling. And many of the images show that it's drowned in and surrounded by floodwaters. But I spoke to 2 people today who visited that area only 10 days ago, and as they were driving through, what they saw was areas that were parched and dry. So it's astounding how much has happened in only a few days.
Now, judging by the pictures, the situation is very serious, but this type of weather pattern is quite unseasonal, isn't it?
It is very rare. Experts are describing it as very rare here. Many New South Wales and Victorian towns are seeing the worst floods that they've seen in 40 to 50 years. Some areas have received 200 millimetres of rain in 48 hours, and that's more than they would expect to receive for the whole of the month of March. I mean, Australia in general is not unaccustomed to severe weather. Many of these particular areas have just come out of almost a decade of drought. So, I mean, it's a very cruel blow that they're experiencing now with floods after such a long drought.
Thanks very much for that. Emirates News' Nani Edwards live from Sydney, Australia.